So I finally watched A Whisker Away, the original Netflix anime movie that barely anyone is talking about right now. And by I finally watched it, I mean the day I watched it is the same day I began writing this script. I know, that's crazy. So, how did the film turn out? I don't know about you, but I'd like to say it turned out amazing. Now, you've probably seen the thumbnail and questioned, is this actually top 3? To which I have to say that is completely subjective, since Wolfwalkers hasn't come out yet, and I haven't seen a lot of other films this year to construct my first worst to best video. But I feel confident that this movie is one of the best of this year, and I'd say it's one of the best of the decade so far. So, what exactly is A Whisker Away? Well, it's about our main character, Mio Sasaki, or Muge, having the ability to transform into a cat with a mask that someone sold to her. Okay, what does she do with those powers? Well, there's this boy she has a crush on at school named Kento Hinode. He doesn't like her, of course, because she's a stalker fantasizing about him. The only way to get him to love her is if she turns into a cat and goes to his house. Of course, Hinode doesn't know she's a cat. This is such an intriguing and interesting concept that opens up to a lot of cool ideas, and a lot of those ideas are explored in this movie. What if cats want to be humans? Do cats regret abandoning their human lives? Now, admittedly, the first act dragged for way too long, but it's not the first time something like this has happened. We did get Wally. Still, the first act sets up everything expertly, from Muge's crush on Hinode, her friendship with Hiyori, the stepmom situation at home, and above all, the antagonist teasing Muge to give up her human life. Then all the stuff in the middle happens, including a plot twist, in which if anyone has not seen the film, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but to give you a hint, keep an eye on this cat. She will be important for later on. From what I can tell, this movie is divided up into 3 clear acts, with the midpoint being the twist and the third plot point being the reveal of the cat world. And no, that is not a spoiler because it's in the trailer. Oh yeah, and also the first plot point, the scene where literally no dry eye is safe. This scene is honestly the best part of the film, so much so that it makes it the first and second act better than the third act. Yes, the final moments are somewhat underwhelming, but it's still a cool story. Anyway, the infamous confession scene has become one of the best animated moments of this year to me, besides Onward's final scene, Steven proposing to Connie, and the Lumity dance. The bullies are written expertly, and I love how Hinode resembles the tone that people who are greatly upset tend to lash out without knowledge of what the consequences are of them lashing out. And this is the moment Muge gets told off about her being a stalker. Also, while we're on the topic, let's talk about the characters. Let's be honest, it's become quite evident that any story that involves romance obviously ends with the main girl and main boy getting together, or any person getting together regardless of their sexuality. If A Whisker Away surprised me, I wouldn't spoil it. But they got together, and that's not worthy of being something that spoils the movie. But then again, it's not the not knowing, it's the not knowing how. And how this relationship came to be is a devastating but gorgeous journey. I do think more bits and pieces could have been fleshed out. Some people can take the message of the film wrongly and feel like their relationship implies that you have to have a significant other to keep your hopes up, but the truth is relationships just happen sometimes, and it didn't look like they really thought about his feelings on Muge until the events of the story unfolded. We're really just seeing this weird premise and the characters' reactions to it, and the takeaways they got from the experience. For Hinode, it was the context of why Muge was so obsessed with him, something Muge's best friend Yori provides information for. Also, while we're at it, let's talk about the other characters. Yori, one of the best friend characters solely because she 100% supports Muge while also telling her off for not thinking straight at times. Basically the audience. The bullies. The confession scene is where they shine the brightest. And the twist revolving around the other cat and Muge's stepmother, which I won't go into detail about here, but it is a well-executed twist while also being essential to the plot and the character arcs of Muge and Hinode. You could say there is cohesive storytelling in A Whisker Away. But then we get to the final thing I want to talk about, and that's the part I want to talk about the most. The real strength of this film is Muge's character arc and how the movie tackles the struggles of being human. Right off the bat, we're given the impression that Muge is a deranged lovebirdy stalker, to which I also have to say that she reminds me of a lot of people I know in real life. At the start of the movie, she fantasizes about the supposed time she kissed Hinode on the cheek at a fireworks show, and then later in the film it's revealed that she was in her cat form doing that. So Hinode literally had a different perspective of that situation than Muge initially thought. This shows that sometimes what hopeless romantics see as sweet, the crushes, fiancés, or even spouses see as something completely different, in this case literally. Another layer to Muge's character arc is her stepmother's situation and the people at school. She feels like they all hate her, so Hinode is the only escape from her perception of reality. Then the confession scene happens and she gives up her human self after the fact, and then the rest of the film plays out and she instantly regrets her decision due to everyone worrying about her. This is similar to It's a Wonderful Life, but instead of seeing the present day play out as if you never existed, it's seeing the present day play out if you suddenly went missing and seeing everyone's reaction to it. The rest of the movie is then focused on getting her human self back. If you watch the movie, you'd know how devastating but also how beautiful this arc was. All this time it was about Muge learning how much of an impact she's had on other people's lives, and how giving up her human self wasn't even worth anything. Not even worth stalking Hinode, especially because she would never be able to tell him her true feelings, and also that she would never understand him ever again. So, to give a summary of my review for A Whisker Away, the concept brings in many ideas in which almost all those ideas are tackled. The first and second acts are beautiful while the third act is good, just not as great as the rest of the film. The confession scene is the best part of the movie. The shipping could have been written slightly better. The subplots are cool, especially the twist, which I will not mention, and Muge's character arc is the ultimate strength of the film, with its honest discussions on being human and how your existence and demeanor impacts others. I give this film a 9 out of 10. Not perfect, but an enjoyable experience. Still, can't help but really look forward to Wolfwalkers.